folks, welcome back to the channel. It's Chris with Daily, and I just got back from the post office where I dropped off a bunch of the knives that sold in that auction. That was a major undertaking to like pack all that stuff up and ship it all off. Like, I'm not like great at eBay. I've had one other large auction before back in 2025, and yeah, so anyways, in this video I am going to go over just a couple of the knives that are still up there because they're really cool, and I always meant to have them on the channel and didn't get to. So I just want to like briefly like show them and talk about them while they're still kind of up there. Yeah, anyway, check out the video. Tell me what you think of these knives. Am I crazy for letting any of these go? Yeah, I don't know. Tell me what you think. All right, just some old bones, man, to take a look at. All right, first knife up today is this Camilus elephant toe. Now someone, look at that big fat spear on there. I think that's cool, man. Anyway, and that bone is just like really cool Rogers bone with tons of character in it. But someone made this a single blade. It must have had a broken secondary, but on a single spring knife, like, you know, making a single blade is not as, it doesn't work out as well as it does on a knife with multiple springs because, you know, it uses that blade tang as part of the spacer, you know, on a secondary blade, and then they stick in a brass spacer. So what someone did was ground down that blade to where it basically just becomes a spacer sort of in there. And I mean, it's fine. You can kind of see remnants of it. They could have maybe done a better job, but whatever. It works. This knife is super solid. It doesn't have the craziest snap. I mean, it wants to see. I mean, it does sort of from there, but you know what I mean. You have to anyway, but it locks out really strong. I mean, it's a very strong knife. But anyway, this is one that's going up. I got it on eBay just like this. I didn't do the blade delete. I assumed the blade was broken, and so maybe that does just make sense to do to this knife. There is a repair back here. It looked like the bone probably chipped off and they put it back on. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a reinforced crack because maybe it doesn't go all the way, does it? I can't see. It doesn't look like it goes all the way, but it is right here pretty heavy, and there's some like glue or epoxy or something, but it's, you know, it's super smooth. Anyway, this is I just think this knife was cool. I bought it, I won it in an auction. I just thought it was really neat. I'm not a huge elephant toe guy, but you know, I was thinking to myself, like, maybe it'll be a little lighter. Like, it's almost, you could carry this, like, this is kind of a neat carry, actually. If you've got enough, because these are heavy, if you've got enough, you know, maybe with a good slip or something, or you're used to a heavy knife, this could be really neat to carry. But I'm letting it go just because, you know, I'm trying to focus my collection a little bit. And like, it does have just, I mean, this bone on here is, it's right up there with the keen cutter that I have, except for it has this chip in it. If it didn't have that chip in it, I probably would not let it go, just because of how crazy that Rogers bone is. And like, it might be a neat knife to kind of shine up a little bit. I don't know. Cause that spear point is just cool. But I can't tell if it's a 3-line or a 4-line Camilus. The tang is really worn off. But I sort of think it's a 3-line. I'm not a Camilus expert. In fact, there's not enough room on this for it to be a 4-line, I don't think. I'm pretty sure it's a 3-line. But I'm not an expert on Camilus. But neat knife. And then another one that I am parting with is this Remington official Boy Scouts knife. I'm not a huge Scout knife guy, you know, and there's I've got a good collection of Remingtons kind of started, and I decided that, you know, in this one, while I'm thinning out this collection a little bit, to make it more about to focus a little bit more on patterns, so then it makes me able to give up knives that don't fit into that collection necessarily. But really beautiful Rogers bone on this guy, and this thing is like, this knife's, from my estimation, completely unused and unsharpened. It has a piece of like pepper mark there, but it's got a full etch on it. Let me see if I can catch it. Yeah, and it says official Boy Scout, official knife of Boy Scouts of America, and it says be prepared in there. It's just, it is neat. It's very, very neat. And this stamp, from what I could find information on it, I looked in the C. Houston Price book for this, for information on this, and the stamp that it has is this one up here. And I found a diagram online that showed the dates. This one doesn't show what dates these are necessarily used, unless I'm missing something. But it has this stamp on the main blade, and from what I could tell, that was made from like 35 to 38 or something like that. It's some sort of time frame specifically for this stamp. So I found that kind of interesting. I'm not an expert on Remington knives, but they're one that I'm trying to learn about. And then over here, you can see, because this has an inked on pattern. Earlier they were stamped, and then they eventually went to, like, this is an ink stamp on there, I guess. Yeah, because it's not like a stamp would normally be on the older or on some of the Remington knives. And this stamp wears off. So to have it completely intact, I guess, is a cool thing from what I've heard. But again, I'm not an expert definitely not an expert on Boy Scout knives. But I found it here, this RS 4783, so it's a 3.5 inch. They made two. One was 3 3/8. This is the 3.5 Boy Scout 3-blade utility, because all it has is the screwdriver, the can opener, and the main blade, and it's got a pop top on the screwdriver. But all in, like, I guess, excellent shape. I mean, in that well is extremely clean. A little bit of peppering and stuff on the blade, but you can see the original finish on this blade. It's not, it's like has the shiny factory kind of rainbowy finish. See that? Yeah. Anyway, really cool knife, but yeah, so the RS, I guess if it was mint whenever this book was made, is 300. So this is unused or whatever and unsharpened, but like, I don't know if you can consider a knife that has peppers on it to be mint or not. I don't know how that works. I've seen some different ways to grade knives, and sometimes like pepper spots and rub marks on blades that have multi, in the same well and on less than the amount of blades worth of springs, that common is to rub. So like sometimes they don't consider that big a deal to have rub, and sometimes pepper spots aren't that bad, but I don't know how to grade it or whatever. I would love if someone knew for sure, like, how to grade, pepper spots, and like maybe if you're an expert on the Remington dating and stuff like that, I would love to hear about it. I don't know if this is I've heard that the ones with the script can be a contract knife, possibly made by Camilus or another brand. But I don't know, because they said the straight line, and I assume the straight line were ones that had a line under Remington. But then there's a different Remington logo there's no circle, no USA. It just says Remington in the script. So maybe that's the straight line. Somebody tell me about it in the comments. I know somebody out there knows. But a pretty cool knife. And then another one that this one was tough. This one was really, really tough because you guys heard me talk about how much I like sleeve boards. And I mean, this knife is just, it's fair. It's like, in my eye, it's gorgeous. No cracks or anything in that bone. And the blade has seen a lot of wear. This blade, I'm assuming, should be much more of a fat spear because you can see that choil's been ground down. But they did a good job sharpening and shaping it, at least. It doesn't look like it's ever gotten on a grinder. So that's a very good thing. And this thing is just super, super solid. It really feels like close to that type of solid. And this is a Shaten Morgan. And it's such a killer knife. The reason I decided to let it go, this guy's a little proud in there, but listen to that snap. I mean, this knife's 100 years old. Shaten Morgan was basically done by 1928. I think there were remnants of them around until 30 or something like that. And numbers change from book to book of when they were completely out. But Queen did them under, man. Queen just basically kind of stole their business. I think Shaten Morgan pissed off some of their cutlers, and then the cutlers left and did their own thing, and they were good enough, and it hurt Shaten Morgan enough to basically close them down, take them over, and then they bought the equipment. The Queen ended up buying the equipment from Shaten Morgan. So very, very interesting. But Shaten Morgans were extremely, extremely nice knives. So what I was saying is the reasons I'm letting this go is because I have another Shaten Morgan that I can't let go. I have two. One is just a little celluloid, so it's not going to bring a bunch of money anyway. It's neat. You guys have seen it before. The other is a cattle knife that is like, it's such an amazing, incredible knife. Like, I feel like, okay, I have Shaten Morgans, and then, like, that's I cover that Tang stamp for sure. It's such a nice knife. I will eventually show it to you guys. It's one that I'm kind of saving because, like, in some way, I'm trying to save the best knives till later, maybe, or at least save them for when I have a specific topic to which they directly apply to. So that's the kind of thinking I'm doing with letting this go. But this one kind of, I'm probably dumb to let this go because I came across one of these once before, but it was so worn, like the bone was so worn, that this one has very, very crisp bone on it. I don't know. Anyway, insanely cool knife. I just wanted to jump on here and kind of make a video because it took me 2 or 3 days to pack all the knives up, get them all shipped. I mean, that is a pain in the butt, man, if you're not like good at it or like do it all the time or something. Selling a bunch of stuff on eBay at once is like a full-time job. So I just got through with that, but wanted to jump back on, and there's a couple of knives still up like these, but the majority of the stuff I'm gonna let go is gone. Dude, we've got the East Gate Basil Notch point from Red Eye here on display. And then, I never talk about this knife, but it's just part of my display because it's from Nate over at Calhoun Knives. And it's just a cool little Boker, man, that he sent me. And I just really, I don't know. I just feel like it really fits on my, I don't know. I just love the way the kind of this Congress pattern fits on the board. And then, of course, we always got the Knife Doctor on here, and I am, some days I take these off because I'm almost like, dude, you don't want to show people how you haven't used those cool lanyard beads that James at Warrior Works gave you. But I do have a knife for these to go on, and I just have not not put them on there yet for some reason. I haven't gotten that knife out for a while, but they are destined, at least one of them is destined for that knife, which I'll show you guys when I eventually put it on. But those are from James at Warrior Works. We've got a moose antler bead and a I think this walrus ivory bead on there. It's super, super beautiful. And then I guess I'll do a quick pocket dump before I jump off of here. I have not changed my knife in my pocket for about 30 days. This is the GEC 86 in Stag, and it just has been living in my pocket, man. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's a great knife. I have a bunch of others that I want to carry, but I've just been too lazy to like sharpen something else and get it in my pocket. I don't know. I think maybe because I've been dealing with the selling knife stuff and things like that. And then this is a Doug Browning slip. It's kind of a cool slip. It's slightly too large for this. I think I'm gonna like stick it in water and try and shrink it. I'm gonna like get it wet, put the knife in it, damp and not soaking wet for the knife, and then hit it with a hair dryer and see if it'll kind of form a little better, because it was made for this knife and it sort of sticks in there, but not quite. It's a little big. I haven't been able to get that out of my pocket for like a month. Tell me what you guys think of these knives. Or any of the other stuff on the board that, are like gifts from people in the community. All right, guys, have a good one.